Hey, what's up? My name is Parrish Lewis and welcome to my channel. This is episode 3. So if you've seen the first 2, thanks for coming back. If this is your first time checking me out, go back and check out my other 2 as well. I'd appreciate your feedback. It's all welcome. And I appreciate you being here today. In this episode, I want to talk about the black curtain moment. It's a term that I coined on my own when I see opportunities and then I just dive all in and go 100% in for those things. It's just always a stage in my mind, and I always tell people this. And on the stage is this guy. He's like this guy with a shaky shirt on, black shaky shirt, black shaky pants, think 90s, with the hard bottom shoes. And the only other thing that this guy had on stage was a high chair, a stool, and a microphone. And the stage has this black curtain. And behind this black curtain, this guy in my head, who goes unnamed, pulls this black curtain from time to time, and it reveals new opportunities to him. Now, keep in mind, I like to refer to this guy as like my consciousness, because he is what keeps me entertained when I'm sitting at a restaurant by myself or at a bar by myself or sitting somewhere alone, and I like to people watch. This guy's on stage and is in rare form. So now you got a little bit of that story, right? Who lives in Parrish's head? This little guy with this black shirt on, these black pants, and these hard bottom dress shoes, and he's highly animated. But behind this guy, on his stage, is this black curtain. And how I envision this black curtain is that behind this black curtain are all the opportunities in the world. So from time to time, somebody, not my guy on stage, unfortunately, but somebody goes up to the stage or goes up to my guy and says, I got something behind this curtain. I need you to pull it back and let me know what you think about it. So he goes back there, pulls back this black curtain, and it's this new shiny thing. And that's the thing that keeps me excited. That's the thing that keeps me going. And how I see those new shiny things are like opportunities, right? So I'm always ready to be introduced to a new opportunity. And the only way that I become aware of this is knowing that this guy lives in my head, and the stage is always there. But it takes someone from the audience, a new person is sitting in the audience, to kind of come up the stage and to present something new by throwing things behind this curtain and then showing me what this opportunity is. And at that point, once I see it shiny enough, once it looks great to me, I dive all in and I go for it and really throw everything into it and trying to figure out what this thing is. And that's, to me, it's like my metaphor of staying ready and alert for opportunities when they present themselves. As you've learned about me thus far, if you recall, or if you watch my episodes 1 and 2, I talk a lot about my corporate experience. You know, I spent time before photography in the IT space, working at a bank and then some IT firms. And from doing the hardware repairs to the sales. And during that time, it was mostly chasing and climbing that corporate ladder, you know, moving up, getting that next certification to get to the next level, to get to that next earning point. But my drive, I wanted to do something. I've always wanted to do something more creative and step outside of that corporate space where I had more control of my daily base, like what I did throughout the day, and did something a little bit more fulfilling for me. I love what I do as a photographer, and it's so fulfilling for me. And being in this space has taught me to be open for opportunities when they come to where. That's how I've gotten my success. That's even when I know to pivot. A lot of times you sit back in life and you try to figure out, when do I move from this and go to this next genre, or when do I move from that and go to this next place? In life, we're always pivoting. And it's based off of opportunities that are presented to us that gives us the affordability or the likability to pivot. The big thing that drew me to photography, right, was the freedom, the creative expression. And at the same time, it was technical. Because remember before I said I was started in IT, so my mind is always technical. I'm always loving the latest, greatest electronics. So photography was that outlet for me. I gravitated toward it instantaneous. And throughout my journey in photography, I've been shown, or I've had several black curtain opportunities, black curtain moments in a sense, where people presented opportunities for me to move into different directions or pivot into different directions. And it wasn't that it was always planned. It's just that it happened while I was in the moment of doing. And I think that's how life works. The progress of it all happens while you're doing, to stay active, to stay at it, to keep moving and keep open to opportunities as it comes your way. And when you look back on it, you'll see that, wow, I've gotten so much success doing this, and now I can become a specialist in this area. And that's how it kind of worked out for me throughout my journey, throughout my years of doing this and trying to figure out what's my next move, or how do I kind of keep things going. So another pivotal moment, or story I tell, was the moment that I met Spike Lee. Now, at this point, I'd given up photography and went back to IT. So about 10 years in the game, digital was out real heavy. I decided to quit photography, go back to IT while I felt like I was still fresh, could take a couple exams, get to a certification level, and have a career there. I landed a pretty good job in sales. I was selling switches and routers for an IT company or firm, and I was doing pretty decent. You know, I just got married, the family, I had a stable income. And I never forget this happening. I get a phone call probably about 8 months, almost a year into this job, where I'm feeling good about myself. Photography had gotten dead for me. I was able to rebound or pivot into a corporate job, and I felt that things were safe for me. And my wife knew, she was there with me the whole time. She encouraged me to go get the job. She was there with me, while I was, doing all of my studies for my certifications so that I can get these jobs and do the interviews. And meanwhile, I would be remiss to say that during that time when things were slow for me, I was able to fortunately fall back on my wife, because she had a full-time job. So she was taking care of all of the household bills. That's why it takes two people to be able to join a lot of times, because there's seasons that we ride. There's seasons where it's that she was ahead and I was down, or I was ahead and she was down, but we held each other down, being able to do that, which is what my partnership with my wife has allowed me to do. And all of this, of course, is based off of my own experience, and it's the only thing I can speak from. I'm settled into this job, and a friend of mine calls me. Friend wanting to show me an opportunity for something that he felt I had potential of, right? So this friend is Jody Williams, well-known DP, calls me at the time some years ago and says, "AOP, I know that you got a job now. However, you expressed interest into doing stills on movie sets. Spike Lee reached out to me, and I'm working on his movie, and he reached out to see if I knew another photographer. I thought of you. I'm giving you a call to see if that's something that you're interested in." That's a black curtain moment. Jody calls me, pulls back this curtain, show me this shiny thing, working on a movie set with Spike Lee, and then he closes it. So I sit there and I'm wondering, wow, how could this happen right now? I'm at the point where I can be comfortable with my full-time job. Now, Spike Lee is asking to meet with me to go back into photography when I felt that it was way too noisy. It was too many people doing it. So, go home, talk to my wife about it. She says, "I think you should do it." That's the support that I talked about in my first episode, the support that I have from my wife and her always believing in me and me pursuing my dream. Even though she knew we had two-income household, both of us was making well over six figures, right? And we combined that, and it was stable, concrete, we was good. All I had to do was stick with the job. When I tell her about this opportunity, she says, "You should go." So I did, but being a skeptic, I'm like, I'm not ready for this. Spike isn't gonna want me to do this. I'm gonna go just for the opportunity to meet with Spike Lee. Long story short, set up the meeting, I go in, I meet with Spike. Spike asked me about my portfolio. He thumbs through my portfolio so freaking fast. At that point, completely doubtful. I'm not gonna get this job. I did this on my lunch break. I'm prepared to go back to work and just live in my life as an IT sales guy and make it happen from there. Once he closed the book, we shook hands. It was great. Called my wife up. I'm like, "Yo." She said, "How did it go?" I said, "I had the meeting with Spike. I think it went great. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but at least I met with Spike Lee. While I'm on the phone with her, Spike calls me. Hey, Parrish, it's Spike Lee. I'm sitting there holding the phone like, wait a minute. Like, the Spike Lee is calling me. My heart is beating fast. I'm wondering what happened. Maybe I left something behind. The last thing I'm thinking about is Spike is about to offer me this job. So, Spike offered me the job. I want you to come and be the unit stills photographer on my movie that I'm working on. I know this is something that you don't do now, but I need you to connect with my brother, David Lee, and he can give you the ins and outs of the things that you should be doing on set as a unit stills photographer. So I did it. And when I tell you that that moment changed my whole trajectory of my career, it went from being doubtful, then to having the support, and then pivoting yet again into another territory. So now, guess what I had to do? I had to dive all in into unit stills photography and understand what the hell is a unit stills photographer, because I had never heard of this shit before. So while I worked on that movie with Spike, it was a lesson that I will cherish and learn forever, because it taught me how to move. I got kicked off set several times. I was in the camera frame, I was in the eye lines, I was distracting the actors and everything else because I didn't know how to move. But as I said before, and as you learn about me, I am unafraid to fuck up. I'm unafraid to fuck up. I think the best way for me to learn is to go fuck some shit up. It's the only way I learn. I can't learn just by book, by theory. Yeah, I can get the principles of those things, but I need to fuck something up first before I learn it. And trust me, that first movie that I worked on, I think I fucked up a little bit. Just a little bit though. I've worked with Spike, to let you know, a couple more times after that, but I wanted to share that story with you because that was the moment in which I had a black curtain moment that changed my trajectory of my career. I left IT, my wife approved, she pushed me to move, like, you should definitely take that job, you should definitely go, you're not happy in this corporate space. So once you go ahead and you do that. So I went ahead and did that, and here I am later. So hopefully that story encouraged you. You get a perspective to understand what I mean when I say the black curtain moments. When I first started photography, all I knew that I wanted to do was take pictures, because remember, it was about the hustle for me. I didn't understand the different genres within photography. How that got exposed to me was me reaching out to other photographers and understanding what their lane was. And I was often told that you have to pick a very specific niche, right? You have to figure out which type of photographer you want to be. And in my mind, it was like, well, shit, I could take any kind of photo, right? Give me any type of job and give me any type of photo and I'll take it. But really, to move ahead, you have to be a specialist, right? So at that point, when the photographer told me I need to specialize and narrow it down to one thing that I like to do, I had to really go deep down inside and figure out what's that one thing. Quite naturally, I was drawn to shooting people. And in shooting people, I didn't understand at that time that there was this portrait world, right? So I immediately gravitated toward headshots. Headshots was my moneymaker. And doing so many headshots, I then started to gain recognition to more in the beauty space, right? And that kind of just worked out because a lot of the people that I started shooting within my community were people that were getting into the beauty world, and as much as they can, beauty. When I say beauty, I mean like hair care. So think luster products, think soft sheen, think organic root stimulator, think all of those. You don't see them as often now because everybody's moved away from the hair relaxers and the perms. But when you go into like your local drugstore, you'll see the boxes of the boxes of hair care. So that's packaging, right? So that's the space that I moved toward. So by me focusing on headshots, I had shot so many people that were going to these castings for these hair care brands that was based in Chicago. I said, well, I can really put my name on these photos and hopefully get into that door. Crazy enough, I got a call from someone saying, hey, look, I got your headshot for somebody. This is a great headshot. Would you be interested in shooting our package for our box kit perm? right? And that was a new genre, which is a new opportunity. I was exposed to it by a person that saw my talent, right, doing headshots, that gave me an opportunity to then explore into the hair and beauty space. So I moved from doing headshots to doing hair and beauty. Then, as I was doing the hair and beauty world, I started to pique interest or gain interest into the music space. So I would be fascinated with the album artwork. And that's what became my inspiration. I was looking at portfolios. I said, "Ooh, I want to shoot, music artists on CD covers." We had CDs at the time, so I wanted to shoot the artwork for the CD covers. So I was really trying to really embed myself in that. So the only thing that I knew to do was to start pushing myself out to music artists. Good friend of mine, bumped into him, hit me up, and he said, "Hey, Parrish, I got these rappers that that's doing these underground mixtapes, and they need artwork for them. So I'm doing a graphic design. What's up, Umi?" Umi kind of came to me and said, "Here, I'm a graphic designer. I need some photos. I need some really good, high quality photos to create artwork for my music artists," which is the lane that I wanted to be in. Now, that goes back to another person, Umi, come to me and present me with an opportunity. He was drawn by my skills that I've shot for these hair care brands and also these headshots. Now he thought I can use some really good photography for the music artist, which is another genre that I wanted to enter into. So Umi saw the potential, gave me this. I had to do the work to really build up the rapport, get that. So me and Umi did a couple projects. Actually, me and Umi did a lot of projects together. And that allowed me to have a portfolio vast enough to show different music artists my portfolio, my work. So you kind of get the picture to see what I'm talking about when I say the black curtain moment. It takes a person to show you an opportunity that they think you have the potential to, and then you then dive in to really build a skill to become really good in that, if that's something that you want to do. But the biggest piece of that is being open, right? My openness allowed a person like Umi to say, "Hey P, I need you to come shoot some photos for me for my music artists." And as it evolved for me, I moved into different genres within photography, So that's the piece that I'll leave you with.